Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your host today, and this is new episode of KSMPodcast Growing Business Online with Kristina. And I'm so happy and so excited to have my special guest speaker today, Lady Lucie Rosa Stagi. Lucie, welcome to the KSM podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for having me here. I'm very honored. I feel very honored.
Thank you very much for joining, and I'm so excited to have you today and to the audience just know you and you share with us about you a little bit who you are, what you do, where are you from.
Right. Well, yeah, it's really hard to know where to begin. First of all, I'm about to be 80 years old in September, so I'm very proud of that milestone. And so
Congratulations! I'm so happy.
Thank you. I'm happy because I'm doing what I love to do and I'm online and I'm helping people and impacting people's lives. But, to share a little bit about myself, I was born in French Canada. As you know, Canada has 10 provinces and one province is French, Quebec. And I was born there and so right after the war, 1945. And so and I was educated there. And, back then, women could not leave home until they were of legal age. And legal age back then was 21. So I couldn't leave home till I was 21. But I was very anxious to leave Quebec because I felt that it was very restrictive for a woman. You could either be a mother, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I didn't have that mother instinct or it wasn't very strong at that time for me. Or you could be a nurse or you could be a teacher. And I graduated from college and I just thought, well, the world is my oyster. I can do anything I want. And so I was anxious to leave Quebec. And what I did, the first thing that I did after I graduated from college at the age of 21, I went to Europe and I lived in Spain. And why did I do that? Because it was my major in college. And back then, they taught you how to read, they taught you how to understand, they taught you how to write, but they didn't teach you how to speak, oddly enough. So I went to Spain to immerse myself so I could speak Spanish and have the full experience of being, trilingual at that time because I could speak English, French, and then now at that time, Spanish. And so after that, I came back to Canada. My sister got married. My parents wanted me to be there at the wedding because it was the first girl get married in the family. So I came back and with the idea of going back to Europe, but I never did. But I immigrated to the United States. And at first, I got into teaching, not because I had planned to do that. It was just something that happened. I couldn't get a job in Canada because I couldn't type and I couldn't take shorthand, even though I had a college degree. So I was very frustrated. I went back to a finishing school, took shorthand and typing. And the director asked me to teach in the school. That was the beginning of my teaching career. Somebody asking me to teach the students what I had learned because I had learned it so quickly and I'd be a good influence on the students. So after 3 years of having the experience as, I guess, a secretary, I was able to immigrate to the United States as a secretary. And I lived in New York for 3 years and then moved to San Francisco for 35 years, was in education, was a high school teacher for 35 years, then retired and moved to Mexico where I live now. And now I work online. I help women start their online business and to take their knowledge and to take their expertise and either coach, write a course, some venture online for them to teach other people what they know and so that they can impact other people's lives. So there's the
It's
story.
very, very interesting, and the KSM podcast, it's opportunity for our audience and and especially guest speakers to share their stories also. And every single guest speaker is different. So your story is really interesting, really unusual. Just that you lived in Canada and moved to Europe to learn and educate yourself, and then move to America, and finally you're in Mexico. And how do you feel there? How do you feel in Mexico to live?
Well, I just love it. You know, the idea, first of all, I have a Canadian passport, I have an American passport, and I have enough years living here that I could become a Mexican. I could get my Mexican passport. And I love that whole idea of being a citizen of North America. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's
That's so
so
cool for
cool.
me.
Yeah, you live what you want to live. This is
Right.
so cool,
E-
interesting.
Everything is possible in life. All you have to do is believe that it can happen and, make it happen.
Yes, and when you mention about that you start doing in this on all these years now to coach and teach online women to start their online business. And tell me, do you have some specific uh, ages of those women to teach them and coach them, or just you work with
Yeah.
many of them? And
That is a great question, and I'll tell you why it's a great question. Because in the United States, the retirement age is 65. Can you imagine? We at 65, I mean, I'm 80 years old. 65, I was full of life. I mean, why do they think that you should retire people with knowledge, expertise, and wisdom? I don't know. And they're increasing it to 67 at least. But I'm thinking, listen, women over 60, you're about to be retired because the companies force you to retire. It's time now to reinvent yourself. It's time for you to take your knowledge, your expertise, and do something with it. Impact other people's lives. And
that's
so
fantastic. So congratulations. So you speak Spanish, is that correct?
correct,
French,
correct,
English,
correct.
maybe the other language, I don't know.
Well, I did take German in college for 2 years, but I wasn't very successful at it. But languages, you have to immerse yourself. You just have to.
Yes, of course. That's lovely. And when you mention about, yeah, you mentioned that you were teacher 35 years. And what was your subject, what you lecture?
Well, I bet you can guess it was French and Spanish. And I mostly worked with the private sector and mostly with the Jesuits. Because I did I always believed that the Jesuits had greater education and imparted, really wanted to teach the whole person, so that's who I really worked with for most of my years teaching.
This is interesting, and yeah, and I know one guy. He was engineer and he was working in army, but when he had a heart attack, he at that time he was maybe 75, 75th, let's say, and he start online to learn and about planting, about, because he was researching some plants to have herbal to help himself. So
Right.
he started after a long time, and because of his heart attack and high pressure, because of restaurants, all those kind of things, he was in previous job and he was retirement. He started. So I just highly in connection with you that people have no boundaries and ages, and as he starts study a new faculty, a new university.
And to tell you the truth, Christina, I didn't start my online business until I was 70. And I'll tell you why I did start. Because I had this big dream that I wanted to travel the whole world with my soulmate. And I wanted to do it first class. Well, my relationship of 10 years came to an end and I was 70. Now, when you're 70, you think that your relationship's going to last forever, right? I mean, I know that it takes two to tango. So whatever part I didn't partake in, full responsibility for that relationship. But I was I was really devastated because all my dreams, fell through. And I thought, what am I going to do? I was devastated. I felt really sorry for myself for about 6 months. And then I thought, Lucy, there is nobody coming to save you, not the government, not your family, no one. So what are you going to do about it? And I thought, well, I'm not going to go get a job. I've retired twice. Ah, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Oh, how am I going to do that? Well, online. Of course, everybody's online. And I thought, well, all I know how to do is copy and paste. And I thought, oh, I'll figure it out. So, so I was a student of Bob Proctor at the time, and Bob Proctor was introducing this young man, and he said, if any of you want to start an online business, this is the person that you need to follow. So I went and I followed him, and it was all about e-commerce, where I was going to build a Shopify store. I had two little Yorkies at the time, so I thought, okay, well, I investigated online what sold well, and things for dogs was really a good thing to have. So I thought, okay, well, I'll sell things for my Yorkies, and it took me a whole year and a half because the first wall that I hit was when I couldn't do something. I couldn't pick up the phone and say, can somebody help me? I had to fill out this form, and somebody says, we'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. And I'm going, oh my God, this is business online. This is totally different. What am I going to do? And by the time they got back to me, I've forgotten the question. I've solved the problem and forget it. And so, so I continued like this until a year and a half, working through a little techie things that I didn't know what to do, finding the answer by asking people, seeking help. And so when I got ready to open my Shopify store, I had this epiphany. It was like, oh my God, Lucy, you don't want to work with products. You want to work with people. And I pivoted 380. And so that young man, that guru that I was following, started to create apps, and he was looking for affiliates. And I knew he was good, and I knew he was going to help his students. So I said, yeah, I can be an affiliate for you. But then I had to join this company called ClickFunnels. And I thought, this was really very techy. Now I was really really in trouble. But what I learned from the owner of ClickFunnels, he said, if you don't know how to do something, you just find the person that does know how to do it. And you start working with people. And so that's what I did. And so I found people that could help me techie wise. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got this email from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, everybody knows Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. And they were starting a new business online called um, uh, what it was called SER, which was starting business online. But they said it was a new legacy that they were starting. And what they said was, people want information, but people want expertise more than information. So they created a course where people could take their expertise, their knowledge, create a course, and start their online business. And I was an affiliate for them. I'll tell you, I didn't know what I was doing either at that time. I went away to Israel, I think Israel, yeah, for 3 weeks, and I had made some business cards where I said, you're just one opportunity away. And when I got back home, I had made $5,000 because I had sold the program to people that I had just talked about, and I didn't know that they had bought the program. So I thought, oh my God, I can make money. And that's how I started my
And
business.
how many years?
We're talking,
When?
we're talking about 5, 6 years ago now.
Mm.
5, 6 years ago. And the good thing was I was the affiliate for Tony Robbins for about 4 years. And then I hooked up with some moderators, and we started a business because we saw that Tony Robbins and Dean Graciosi's students were falling through the crack, and they needed more attention. And so we reached out to those people and helped them, holding their hands, getting them through the course so that they could start their online business
Yeah, and
organically.
and I think that to be affiliate in Tony Robbins, you need to use some of his
Absolutely.
programs, not
Yeah.
just to go to be affiliate.
No, not just be an affiliate. So
You,
we were using his framework in our business, and we created and I co-founded Launch Lab Academy, which is my business today.
there are some, I'm a little bit know about affiliates and how it works, but there are some companies when you don't need, maybe you can use one product, whatever, but not need to, it doesn't, you can only be affiliate, but there are different approaches to the point, I mean, so.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about Academy, about global, how did you say?
Launch Lab Academy is the business that I co-founded, and I worked with. I was the affiliate, so my teammates were all coaches. So we reached out to the people from Tony and Dean who were having trouble, who couldn't follow up because they were bringing in thousands and thousands of people, and they just couldn't take care of individuals, you know. So that's what we did. We niched into the market for the older people who needed help with technology, and I figured that my teammates figured that if I could do it, then anybody could do it.
Just like
So
Bob Proctor said, if I can do it, you can do it. I
exactly.
always remember those words. If I
Right,
can do
exactly.
it, you can do it.
Exactly, because I had to learn everything. And so my teammates, by the way, multi-generational, multinational, one lives in Israel. He's the youngest one. One lives in Oregon, United States, and one lives in India. And here I am in Mexico. So we're global, we're multinational, we're multi-generational because I'm the oldest baby boomer. The millennial is in Israel, and the other two are two other generations. So it's amazing because we all get along so well. We all have the same purpose, which is to help other people succeed.
Yeah, that's lovely, And as you, but I can understand you because you're a teacher, and many years when you need to teach people and coach them, your students, you need to learn to do repetition. Like repetition is the mother of learning. So,
Absolutely.
and now I can realize that it wasn't too much trouble and hard for you to start learning online business. And
Yep,
like,
you're right. Repetition, repetition, repetition is the
yes.
mother of learning. I mean, Tony Robbins says it's the mother and father of learning. And by the way, I just remembered you did ask me the question, what did I teach? I taught French and Spanish. And
Yeah. You told me, yes. So yeah, it's lovely. And from your and now you're a teacher, you're a coach. Am I right?
I consider myself a mentor more than anything else.
Mentor, yeah. And you run that multinational, international academy. So who do you mostly work? You mentioned, let's say, 65 plus, or
Yeah,
those people from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. You
right.
know, but and can you share with us uh, how do you teach? How do you help those people? And
Well, we took the framework that from Tony and Dean and made it our own so that we could, the framework it was broken into 9 steps, and so we brought them through the 9 steps so that they could create their course and or their coaching and then share it with other people. Um, Now, what's happening now is that we, Launch Lab Academy, are pivoting. Why are we pivoting? Because of the AI, artificial intelligence revolution. And we know very well that in 2 years, anybody who's not using these tools are going to be left behind. So my coaches are now in the consulting business, the AI consulting business for personal branding. And so now we have pivoted from the individual to small and medium businesses to help them All right. Um, what we do is first we assess where they are, we assess their needs, and then we help them decide on the tools that they particularly need. And more than that, we help them implement those tools so that they can automate their business and do what they do best, which is bringing clients.
That's fine. That's fine, and I know that in terms of personal branding, your academy helps a lot. I mean,
Absolutely. Because that's what we focused on mostly. Because, in business, the minute you are on video, you're branding yourself.
yeah.
People want to know who you are and what you do.
And see your body language. And
And so you've
especially
got
when
to,
you talk the same language, which they understand, like in
right,
this platform to share about business, and you wanted to move globally and spread the word about the business on global level, on the
right.
global market. And Lucy, can you share with us a little bit some just to approach to us personal branding from point of view how your academy and your team coach other people in
Well,
your
we tell them, of course, a video is king of content. People love to see who you are. So being on video is very, very important. So it was very funny because our type of people, our age range, I can remember one of our students say, video, I don't know how to do that. And I thought, oh my God. So I created a course on camera confidence because I felt that our students needed to know how to be in front of the camera, where to look, for one thing, because you could be looking here, you could be looking there. Really, you need to be contacting people. You need to be talking to your audience. And, and people sometimes are down here or they're up here, so the position of your body in the camera. So I taught that course for them, and it was an eye opener. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know this. And and we know that video is the king of content. So the more videos that you do to help brand yourself, the better, the faster you will be known, to people, to your client. And because your client needs to know who you are, what you do, and they need to like you. They need to like you before they're ever going to buy anything from you. They need to trust you, to like you and
and
trust
just imagine when you follow someone on youtube channel or any Vimeo or whatever platform, and you listen to, as you mentioned, that guy who is a techie guru and other people who do the similar work. You just think of you feel that you know those people, just you need to handshake in person, but you just connect with them and energetically and however, and you just think about that you know them for years, for many
you.
years.
And you bring up a good point because we emphasize to our clients all the time that really it's you're building relationships, and you can only build your relationships one at a time. Yes, you can do webinars and get several people to know you. The more webinars you do and whatnot, there's several ways that you can reach out to many. And so we teach them all of that too. But it's really important for them to be omnipresent and to work with one platform before they go and spread themselves thin on other platforms, you know. So if it's Facebook, because that's the age group that we were working with, our age group, most of our age group over 60, certainly over 40, 50, are familiar with Facebook. The younger generation is Instagram, and even younger now, it's TikTok, although TikTok, everybody's getting on TikTok. So, what used to be true may not be true anymore. So you have to keep up with the times. You have to figure out what's good all the time. You're always needing to reinvent yourself, so to speak. That's why we are getting into AI consulting with small businesses. Do you realize, Kristina, that only 2% of businesses are using AI tools? Because most people are overwhelmed. They don't know where to go, where to start. And so, I think we're positioning
Yeah,
ourselves.
and people are afraid of it. There are people
They're
who are
afraid of it.
afraid. There are people who don't have knowledge. There are people who uh, mostly just they believe it, they don't believe it. It's different. I mean, so we need to educate ourselves that we can educate other people, and we can use it AI in every industry. I mean, any kind of
Absolutely.
business.
Actually, if you're not using any AI tools in 2 years, you're just going to be left behind. The thing is that like everything else, now I see people who are advertising, oh, I can teach you AI tools in 30 days and how to use them, without ever assessing somebody's business, what they really need. Because, and you have to be really careful of that when you get into business, because I can't tell you how many programs I took, how many coaches I hired who were just interested in getting my money, not interested in helping me. It was one fits everybody, I have this way to do business and it fits everybody. And so, they make money that way. And, that doesn't work. That
It's
doesn't work
it's
for the
yeah,
individual.
it's very interesting. And Lucy, how did you overcome to, there are people in stuck to use videos, and how did you overcome that? Just
And you
because
start
of
with,
your you mentioned I
well,
just wanted they're young people, but I also was I was in stock, and I have my mentor. She looks like your ages now, because she could be like my mother, and we were working together, and she always said, Kristina, why don't you pop up? Why don't you pop up in the group? And I said, and she was a front man. And I was like behind the scene. And then I created challenge 21 day. It was social media management and digital marketing plan strategy. And in that time, it was 5 years ago, I started, to record videos,
mhm.
talk about digital marketing and some topics, create a list of topics. And every day I deliver one by one in the group, Facebook group, and also host for entrepreneurs, for ladies. And it was Prom Entrepreneur Day. And I saw that I'm so fit with that, because I just wanted to share with the audience how I started. And then I do rebranding KSMPodcast Growing Business Online with Kristina. And here I am.
Yeah, and it's a pretty natural thing for you. The thing is that I remember my first coach was really one of my teammates. He was a coach and he said, well, Lucy, you're gonna have to do videos. And I'm going, oh no. And so I went through a difficult time. And I'll tell you where I got comfortable in front of the camera was there was this one person who had a Facebook group, and he opened up his Facebook to 100 people. And he says, I want you to take my Facebook as your platform where you will come and do a video every day. And nobody's going to see you except the people in my Facebook group. And so for 100 days, I did that. And I got a little bit more comfortable. And that helped me teach the program of camera confidence also, because I created a special place for my people to be safe so that they could do their videos. We could give them feedback on what they were doing right, what they were needed to improve. And so, how else are you going to learn? You said repetition, repetition, practice, practice, practice makes perfect, There's no
And
such thing as
and
perfect.
here we are today. And I also know that you're a host, that you run some show and interview. Can you share with us about it a little
Well,
bit for our audience?
that's an interesting question, because I knew that video was king of content, but I thought, now um, how do I want to do my videos? I don't want to have to do a video every day. That's like too time consuming for one thing. What am I going to talk about? And so I thought, consistency is the name of the game here. How can I be consistent? I thought, once a week, I could do something once a week. And I thought, maybe interviewing people, because then it takes the onus off of me. There's the other person, you know? And so I decided to do interviews, and I really like doing interviews. And I got better at that. And then I got really kind of very excited about featuring people and bringing them out and showing people who they are and what they did. And so now I have a podcast that's called Lucie's Inspiring Stories. And I just love, you and I had that interview. I just love, uh, showing people, featuring people so that other people can see what they've done, where they've come from, and what they have achieved. Because if you can do it, Kristina, if I can do it, then anybody can do it. Wouldn't
Yes.
you agree?
So I agree 100%, and I have my program where I coach people how to run their own podcast for entrepreneurs, for leaders, for business owners. Also, if they cannot, I can run new brand podcast for them also. So this is something what I do. And I do that on daily basis in terms to do recordings, to have guest speakers, as I'm doing now with you. And it's lovely, really. And I really enjoy what I do. I really love what I do.
Yeah, you have to love what you do, because if you don't, then what's the
And,
point?
and people feel that. Every single guest speaker is new energy, and you
Right.
have chance to learn and get many answers on your questions. Just to, if you are in stuck with something, you can ask your guest speaker to share it.
Exactly. And it's, people think, oh, you have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Actually, it's better to be imperfect and do something than not do anything, because you're waiting for you to be perfect. I mean, would you agree? I have not yet met a perfect person in my life, and I'm
But
about
the
to be
point
80
is
years old.
also, what is the matrix to be a perfect? Maybe
Yeah,
that
exactly.
matrix is not exact and very clear matrix to be a perfect person.
Yeah.
So be organic, and
Be
everything
organic,
what I
be
do,
yourself, be
I do
authentic.
organically.
Yeah,
Just like people go to create professional photos, everything, but behind the scene, people love to connect with you if you are really that person who appear in front of a camera, who are in videos, and then have chance to connect with you in person. I traveled all around the world in front of my camera, but what I do also is to connect with those guest speakers and my clients in many different points in the planet. But I
mm,
really wanted to hug them or to handshake with them. So maybe this is my new step. What I
absolutely.
want in my life.
There's nothing better than when you meet somebody online. You meet the most wonderful people online, but when you meet them in person, oh my God, it's like you know them already, you know? You have a connection with them
And
already.
you
It's
can
so,
connect with them as a family member, either that
yeah,
you have someone, your cousins, your daughters, sons who live in the other part of the world, and you can connect with them online and talk with many WhatsApp, Viber, Messenger, Zoom, whatever. And you can just connect with those people. And I'm in connection with them in more than 10 years. And this is the way how I traveled all around the world in front of my computer. And
that's
I'm
wonderful.
still doing that.
So when are you coming to Mexico?
Yeah, I will see maybe, I would love to, why not? Because
Absolutely.
to explore new about the tradition, yeah, language, and maybe do some projects, some retreat, who knows?
Yeah, people love to
I would
retreat in
love to
Mexico.
come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. If you can
Right.
do it, I can do it.
Yeah, and I love the word impossible. It means I'm possible.
I'm possible. you know, um, and how people can connect with you, how people can just
Right.
connect with Lucy in Mexico
Well,
online.
it's really easy. I mean, I have the platform. I could put it in the chat if you want, or I can send you the information. The best way to contact me would be by email. if anybody's interested in, or my Calendly, what I could do is put
I
my
can put
Calendly.
all information. I can put all below, and because it's going this. It's
So
going to
I'll
be
give
on
you my
YouTube channel,
Calendly.
video, audio on Spotify, Apple, and other. I mean, it's on 20 platforms. What I saw, I was researching a few, a couple days before, and people can just really enjoy
Right. I mean, I'm on
episodes.
Instagram, at Rosa Stagi, and my Facebook group is called WOW, which is Women of Wisdom, so that's under Lucie Rosa Stagi also. My email is Rosa Stagi, all one word, Lucy in front of it, Rosa Stagi at gmail.com. But I'll give you all that information. And
Yeah. And do you have some let's say, let's freebie or pre-consultation or um, to be guest speaker on your podcast or whatever you have just for our audience that people can enjoy your
Right. Well,
connection.
I'll send you the Calendly for the inspiring stories. If anybody wants to come on board. If you have an interesting story, and you can inspire people, and you know that your story matters because all our stories matter. All right. You can always inspire other people. Then talk to me. Let's get you on my podcast. And also, if you're a small to medium business, what I'd like to do is send you the assessment form, which is free, so that you can assess yourself and see, and this doesn't cost you anything. This is, it's for you to look at. There's no commitment, and you can see what your business needs and how you can assess what your needs are where AI tools are concerned. So I'd be happy to share that with you.
Yeah, and this is about personal branding, I mean, or
This
something
is
like that.
this is a personal branding and also your business branding because most people businesses are they're them, it's the
Yeah,
person business. For
yeah,
example, your
yeah,
business is Kristina,
yeah,
so
yeah.
turns out that personal branding and business branding at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, but the
Yeah,
personal is so important, as you said, like a personal branding, and after that, your business branding, because people
exactly,
wanted to know who they will work with
exactly,
as
exactly.
personality, if they
Yeah,
wanted to work with you or not. I
yeah,
think
and you're not
it's
going
so
to be everybody's
important.
cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's all. So, Lucy, can you share with us some message for audience before we ramp up our interview today, our show today?
The first thing that comes to my mind, do not let age ever be a factor in anything that you do. You can reinvent yourself at any age. And if you have a message and you know that you have a message to share, then don't give it up. Do not give it up until you find a way to get your message out there. Connect with me, connect with Kristina. There's lots of people you can connect with that we can help you, all right, get your message out there. So never, and this is for me as much as everybody else. Never, never, never give up.
Never give up. If you don't try, you have never know how it's going to be. Just try and go. And if you don't know how to just engage mentors, as
Exactly.
Lucy's coaches, as I am, this is not only promotion for ourselves, but there are amazing people in this world who can help you. Start with
And
something, ask your cousin, show up, create some questionnaire, ask what the people need, put in social media, whatever you do, if you couldn't go alone, just connect with someone who can help you.
absolutely.
And also you have chance to connect with Lucy. She can also host you if you have amazing story, and if you have story which will be so impactful and unusual, I mean. Okay.
And just know that if I can also, I'm a great connector. I love to connect people with other people. So if it's not me that you need to connect with, maybe I know somebody that you can connect with, So let's just always have that conversation. Always have that beginning conversation. Don't be afraid of it. It's fine. It's just getting information and there's no obligation.
If we can do that, you can do that. So you don't think about your ages. Think about how to feed your brain.
There you go.
Don't think about your physical body and your ages. We can work to age of 100. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, I have a 20-year, I know what, I have a dream for the next 20 years, so
that's
that's going to take
yeah.
me
And
into my,
here in my country, in Serbia, it's a lady. She's 97 at the moment. She drives a car. She speaks 6 languages. She is actor and
wow.
and singer. So, and finally, she was engaged in one. It was musical show, and she was a winner. So after that, she has the funds, and when she wanted to be a guest in some TVs, like to be interviewed, she said, "Oh my God, I was singing to the early morning. I'm a little bit tired, but I need to get up and to go to the studio to be a guest." So, and she said, "I have fans all around the world because from our community,
Yeah.
and I'm super happy with it." And she wrote a book. How to survive with how to live with 100. So this is amazing.
Absolutely. Everything is possible. It goes to show you that
Everything,
everything
yeah.
is possible.
This
Yeah.
it's everything up to you. So just don't be shy, don't be stuck. You have people, you have entrepreneurs and connections who can help you, as Lucy's, as I am, and many, many people, ladies and gentlemen around the world. Thank you, Lucy. It was such a pleasure having you today. You just inspired me, and I think that you will inspire many, many listeners. See you
Thank you.
very soon in our new show, in new episode. Thanks again, and regards to your team all around the world. Thank you so much, and bye for now.